Hello, Stereo Azimuth, and today we are going to be talking dongles, my friend. Dongles. I have quad dongles. I have 4 dongles here. I have the Shandling UA5. I have the Cayin, I think that's how you pronounce it, RU6. I have the iFi Go Bar, and I have the iFi limited edition Gold Bar. And I've kind of ranked them in order of how I like them, versus, worst to, best, because at this price at the iFi Gold Bar, it's going to be really hard to compete with any other like dongle, especially at this like it is the most expensive one I think that is out there, for sure, as far as the dongles are concerned. And it definitely does have like kind of the better sound. I think we'll go through all of the details about the sound in just a moment, but these were a limited edition. These, I'm told, actually do have better component parts, or some of the component parts better than the iFi Gold Bar. So this is basically an upgraded component, or maybe slightly enhanced version of the Gold Bar. The Gold Bar is still no slouch. It's still a great dongle DAC-amp, and one that I would probably own. The same with the RU6. I love the RU6 and how simple it is and how great that it just sounds just like plugged in. So we're going to go through all of them. So first thing, let's go clear this out. I'm going to go through and I've had this USB cable like from my computer. I mean, normally, if you have an iPhone, you're going to be using something like this, which is like a lightning, connector to USB-C. That's normally what you would use, and that's, if you're plugging into a portable device. But there's no reason why you can't use these with a computer, with a laptop, with your desktop, especially if you're on the go and want something better than just your laptop jack. I think these are great, especially like if you're in college, if you're moving them out. So we're going to plug this in, and we're going to go through this a little bit. So you can see here, it's a Shanling. It has a dual DAC, and then like this is the volume control. So this actually like sets the volume. It kind of looks like it reminds me of like those old butane lighters. Like, you remember, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you would do like this, and because that's what it kind of looks like to me. It's like because it's kind of on the side, and that's probably where they got the inspiration for it too. I at least hope. But anyway, let's go back to here. So you can see here, it shows you this one does have a display. So only this one and the Cayin have a full like LED or LCD display. The iFi I will show you, but it just has like LED lights on the back of it. It tells you what volume that you are at. Okay, this one was the only one that responded to volume on my phone, but it didn't change this volume. So my phone volume changed, and then this also volume changed, but it's only one of the 4. If you want to get to the menu, you can hold in the button, you can push it in, and you can go through the menu settings. Here you can change the DAC from dual to single, which I would probably only do if I was trying to save battery power. And you just rotate it to change it to single. If you wanted to switch to the next item, you just push in, and it rotates to charging. So this actually has a small battery on board. It still requires USB power for the digital components, but the analog components can be run off the battery in what they call a hybrid mode, and we'll show that in just a second, where you can kind of choose the difference between those two. So this is where you want the USB to charge that battery in there or not. The next item that we have in the menu, and I'll have to go through this quicker because it does not like, and this is on or off. The next item that we have is gain, high or low. Okay. And the next item that we have is power. So this is where we can set the hybrid mode. This is going to be off the battery right now, is where that is. The analog section is off the battery. But if I wanted to change and go into the USB power, then I would just rotate it. This right here is the filter, and it has like different filters, and I wish it would just stay, because it doesn't allow me to stay very quickly. And now it's doing something other weird things on the display. Okay, so linear fast, we have the filter, we have brick wall filter, we have, come on, hybrid, hybridizing, mini slow, mini fast, and that does say mini, and then linear slow, linear fast. I liked linear fast was my favorite one, but you can play around with the different filters and hear what you like. Choose what you like. This is the balance. I'm going to quickly move on. SPDIF on or off, because one of the jacks can output SPDIF. And then screen off 30 seconds or more. Probably should have set it to more for this video. And then this is the screen brightness. You can turn up or down, depending on, you probably turn it down for this video, so you get a better idea of what it looks like. And then the rotation, whether you wanted to rotate it backwards or not. I'll just leave it how it is. And then the version firmware that we have, in case we will question whatever firmware that we're on. Then we're back to the DAC, whether we're on single or dual. Most of the listening I did, I was in dual mode. I'm gonna go here to, come on, dual. Sometimes it doesn't recognize the encoder doesn't recognize but all of these have like the jacks that are the that have both I'm trying to get to which way am I going, that have the pentagon balanced connection as well as the unbalanced connection here. So they use both. This uses ESS chips to decode. It is very loud, very sort of ESS-like, which is very sort of, to me, sort of gray and flat, but then kind of, I don't know, it seems kind of plasticky to me, and soundstage is just rather flat. But like I said, it is rather powerful. I think that if I had like balanced armatures, some people say that balanced armatures do better with this type of DAC. I use dynamics. I have these the Moondrop Starfields, and I also have like the planers. I have the 7 hertz timeless, and I don't know. I think that across the board, it has a very, sort of flat sound signature. No real EQ, not real hot, not real bright. It just sounds like an Apple dongle, but louder. So if you need more power, if you want more power, if you want a little more clarity, that's it. But that, just realize that's on the bottom of my list of these other 3 that I have coming up. So the next one that we're going to go to is the one that gets a lot of attention, and that's the Cayin RU6. And this little guy is, yes, it's R2R. It's a R2R DAC. It's a ladder, resistor ladder, multi-bit DAC, with like this, digital volume control. And all it has on the top are just plus and minus for your volume. And then you have a mode button. And I'll show you what the mode button does really quick. If you hold down the mode, you can change the gain from high to low. HL. You can change the sampling rate from NOS to not to non-oversampling to oversampling. So we'll turn back on again. Should have practiced this before. Come on. All right. That's where, okay, gain high and then sampling. Oh, come on. Okay, you have to turn it on. Get the screen. Hold down mode. All right, mode. Gain, high or low. Hit mode again. I get sampling. And then non-oversampling or oversampling. So either one, that's the only options I get is oversampling or non-oversampling. I like non-oversampling. The next thing that you get is the backlight. And the backlight you can change from, 30 seconds to like a minute to, longer or whatever. But that's all that you get. There's no bass control. There's no like DAC control. There's no battery. There is no battery in this guy. It does tell you the sampling rate. It does tell you what volume number that you're at. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all it tells you on the display. But it also has like the pentagon, like and unbalanced, small 1/8-inch connector for the headphones. I think this thing that sounds great. The thing that I like about this is that it does sound a little bit warm. The top end is a little bit rolled off. The sound quality and the sound stage, though, is really by far excellent. It doesn't sound very congested, and everything just kind of comes through and sounds very musical. If I were to say this sound does have a little bit of like kind of a low end sort of warmth to it, especially in non-oversampling mode. And I urge you to experiment with both oversampling and non-oversampling. Some people have a preference for one or the other. I particularly have a preference for non-oversampling, especially with this DAC, but some people do have a problem with it. I think it's a really great value for your money. I think you can get these just over $200. And they sound great. Now they probably, like these and the other iFis probably do affect your battery life of your portable device if you are worried about that. There is no internal battery. There's a lot of internals going on in this guy. Next thing we have is the iFi Gold Bar. Now the functions and the functionality of the iFi Gold Bar and the iFi Gold Bar are exactly the same. They both use a PCM like Burr Brown DAC. On the side, you have the volume buttons plus up or down. Then I'll go over the switch in just a second, but this switch right here is the IEM match. So if you have IEMs and one switch, the middle is like no IEM match, okay? The switch one way is for balanced connection, and the switch the other way is for unbalanced connection. So therefore it stays intact, but really the middle is what I use the most. If I had like lower impedance and balanced armature IEMs, I might use this more. Like really sensitive IEMs, I probably would use this, but I didn't really use it with even with my Moondrop Starfields. I kept it kind of in the middle. The next thing they have is you have this button, and this button, it does have a couple of sound enhancement modes. Okay, there is no LED display on these, but you do have this like display on the bottom, and it tells you the sample rate. So you have different lights: 44, 48, 88, 96. I almost need my glasses to read all that. 196, and then some of the DSD sample rates, MQA light. And then the last two, one is called X Space and the other one is called X Bass. So when I hit the button, and I'll hit the button and you'll see them light up. So when I hit one button, it's going to turn on the X bass, I believe. Wait, hold on. I'm hitting the IEM match button. Okay. Oh, therefore it switched to DSD mode because I've got it plugged into my computer. Because nothing's playing. Because I want to be in DSD mode. I don't want it in DSD mode. Come on. Here, let me plug it up to my iPhone right quick. And it will probably behave for us a little bit better. So now it's plugged into my iPhone. So now it shows us the sample rate. Now I can hit the button, and now it went away. Does it go away? Okay, maybe I have to have something playing. Hold on a minute. Music. Okay, play that. Okay, now it's playing something. Ah, there we go. So it turns on X bass first. That's the little red light you see on the bottom. And then when I hit the button again, it's going to change it to X space and turn the X bass off. If I hit the button again, it's going to cycle to both of them on. And then when I hit the button again, it's going to cycle to both of them off. So that's a kind of a neat feature. This is a very gentle enhancement, and one that you may like and you may not like. I find that most of the time I had it off because I'm kind of a purist in that way. But if I was listening on maybe not so great equipment, or maybe I was listening to something that felt like it needed more excitement, I can listen to some X bass. If I wanted to listen to a little bit more subtle, maybe I wanted a little bit more background and width, then I can use X space, and it kind of gave me a little bit of space around things, I guess you would say. But it's very, very gentle, and how it sort of massages the audio there. So, you know, your mileage may vary. So because even the space didn't really feel like like it was enhancing a little bit, but it didn't feel like it was overdoing it. And the same for the X bass. I mean, it's not going to give you all of a sudden like everything like is shaking. It just gives a little bit more punch, a little bit more, like low end energy. It wasn't anything that was completely overdone or not. And matter of fact, sometimes I even had it on where I accidentally hit it and I didn't even realize that it was on. That's how subtle that it is, that, you can probably have both of them on and not even realize it. The sound quality of this, as far as like what it's worth, I mean, I think that it sounds like fantastic. It is very, very warm sounding and very, very punchy already, especially in the low end. It kind of had almost like a U-shaped sound to it, where the mid-range was kind of like not very present, but it led to a very exciting sounding like DAC-amp, and one that was very enjoyable, and it still sounded very natural and very clean and very musical. And going back to the Cayin, going back to the RU6, is that it made this one sound a little bit more like harsh, a little bit kind of like mid-forward, I guess you would say, like when I compared the two. But then I tried the Gold Bar. Now, this was done as a 10th anniversary thing, I think, for iFi, because they've been in sort of making things for audio world for a long time. I mean, they've been making USB DACs and DAC-amps and all that kind of stuff for a long time. Things that were battery powered, things that were not battery powered. But they haven't made one that was a straight up like dongle where it used the USB like power from your phone or from your device. They just never got into the dongle world until they made the Go bar. Well, because it was their 10th anniversary, they decided to make the gold bar, and it is actually like gold. You can tell like the weight of these two. The gold bar is definitely like heavier. The one thing about it that you'll see like straight off is, yeah, it's susceptible to fingerprints and stuff like that. I mean, if you're one of those kind of people like, oh, I've got to have everything clean, I've got to have it, it's going to be shiny, and I don't want fingerprints. No, it's going to pick up fingerprints for sure. You can wipe them off like with a cloth, or like if I clean it with my shirt here and put it back, it looks nicer. Like, ooh, it's nice and polished. But then as soon as I handle it, like it's going to look, kind of like bad again. I mean, it's just gonna happen. I mean, it's just kind of like handling it. You're gonna get smudges on it. I mean, our hands have oils on them. It's gonna get all over them. That's just kind of how it is. The functionality, exactly the same. It's got all the lights, got all the stuff on the back. X-Base, they're very mirror-like finish. So very small, like lights or whatever that are on it, and it works the functionality exactly the same. Matter of fact, they are so alike. When I plug them up to my computer, sometimes like when you plug in a DAC to your computer, it sees the DAC and it goes, okay, I see your DAC, and then I plug up my headphones and I have to choose that output. But like if I sometimes I can quickly unplug this and then plug this in, and then like it's almost too fast for the computer to recognize that I've changed things. It still recognizes that it's an iFi DAC. It still says, oh, you have an iFi like Go bar, because that's how the gold bar shows up. It shows up as a Go bar, even though that it's a gold bar. Because it is like kind of a enhanced Go bar inside. The sound of this is more refined than this one. It just has more clarity. The low end is more controlled, and more detailed, and just give me more bass textures. The high end is a little bit more like sparkly without being too much, and the mid-range was more like rich. It didn't sound quite as U-shaped as the Go bar. It sounded much more like fuller and crisper and like more sort of, I don't want to say enhanced. It just sounded like it was a better quality like thing that I was listening to. Like the clarity was kind of enhanced a little bit. Like the focus, everything sounded a little bit more sharper and gave me a little bit more details. And but they are both still, I would say, in the warmer side of like DACs and DAC-amps. Like they're still, when I compare them to, they still sound very sort of I don't want to say dark, but they definitely have this like kind of tube warmness to them. Excuse me, very thirsty. But so yeah, I like both of these. So once again, like my ranking, if I had to like rank them all, and these two I can almost like switch around. Like these two, I can take one or take the other one. It kind of depends on my mood for the day, because I liked both of them so much. I just thought they were great. The other thing I was going to say, this is the cable that you get with the iFi. You get two of these. You get one with a USB-C connector on it for Android devices, and then USB-C on the end. This one is the Lightning one. with the USB-C on the end to connect to these devices. However, I could not get the iFi adapter to work with the RU6 for whatever reason. It would work with the Shandling, the UA5, but it would not work. So I had to use this one. This one was just like a basic one. I think that was bought from Amazon for $10. So yeah, I don't know what was going on with this particular cable or whatnot. Why the RU6 didn't like it, but I didn't get any audio. It's like the iPhone saw that there was an audio device connected, but I didn't get any audio output out of it. And then I would plug this cable up, and all of a sudden it would start working. So I don't know. But as far as, like I said, what I like the most, this one had the most refined sound. I think it's $329 or $350, something like that. This one is not far behind it in price. This one I know is in the 260s, and this one or little over $200, and I think this one is about $199. And that's about how they stack up, really. I really liked being able to listen to all of them. So I didn't really listen in balanced mode to any of them, but I'm sure that they sound, rather the same. I wouldn't count on any huge differences between the unbalanced and the balanced. The headphones that I used to listen to them were the Moondrop Starfield, the Timeless, and I even plugged up my HD 800s just to see. And yeah, most of them barely could power them enough. But yeah, they still showed their same sort of characteristics showed up when I listened to them, on the HD 800s. So hopefully that gives you a better sense of these things, and I hope that you have a better idea of what these dongles. And I would say if you can get your hands on an iFi Gold Bar, they're definitely worth it. Although the Go Bar is still pretty worthy in my book. So if you have any suggestions or have any questions or have anything to review, or hit me up in the comments, like and subscribe. And I have some, if you see behind me, there's some tube amps behind me. So our next show, the next thing is we're going to have a tube amp shootout. Yes, tube amps. Wonderful, wonderful tubes. We'll see what they're all about. And do we need them over our wonderful solid state amplifiers? But anyway, I digress. We'll see you later.